Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Breakfast. We are continuing with our conversation on Hakarat HaTov. And yesterday we left off with the idea that you would think that Hakarat HaTov is really an avodah of Ben Adam LaMakom or Ben Adam LaChavero, but in reality it's Ben Adam LaAtzmo. That ultimately the way in which we think about Hakarat HaTov is that it is about fully appreciating that which is within yourself and then having the binyan of moving outside to Atzmo, Chavero, and Makom. Okay. So this is a Mamre Yimei Haratzon. This is a very interesting article, which I think kind of like flows into the same exact idea. This says over here as follows: the wondrous creations called Klal Yisrael possesses two unique identities, and these correspond to the two stages of human development, referred to in the Masechet Yesharim, right? In the trait of Kedusha. Its beginning is work, and its end is a gift. Okay, we explained that Avraham Avinu was one of the one who paved the path of Avodah. Through Avodah, he drew close to Hashem and the universe, and that caused the Shekhinah to dwell within him. So let's try to expand this idea, differentiating this theme of Abraham and Lahavdil Aristotle. What's the difference at the end of the day between Abraham and Aristotle? Okay, so both were talented individuals. One founded Klal Yisrael, and the other founded science. Two men were investigators, masters of thought, among the greatest of the world. Is the only difference between them their conclusions? The one concluded that the universe is eternal and had no beginning, and the other concluded the universe was created. Indeed, they were very different in this regard. But that is not the fundamental difference between Abraham and Aristotle's approaches. The concrete outcomes of their respective lives demonstrated that they differed not only in their conclusions, but also in their life paths. Abraham did not found a school of philosophy. He founded a nation that guards the path of God, people who perform tzedakah and mishpat, okay, justice and fulfill their laws. The Havdil Aristotle, on the other hand, Aristotle founded science, the mathematic method. Of course, despite Abraham's non-scientific approach, he would be mistaken to say that Abraham failed to accurately comprehend reality. And certainly, when he commanded his children and his household to guard the way of Hashem, this was not just a theoretical order, but the way of Hashem, performing tzedakah and mishpat, based on a clear recognition and the knowledge of the contours of reality. What then is a path of comprehension founded by Avraham Avinu? Meaning, what was unique? What was a chidush that Abraham? What was a new novel idea that Avraham Avinu brought into the world? Abraham's novel insight was to include the body in avodah, right? He realized that true knowledge of God is not produced by theoretical cognition alone, meaning you think that the way to find God is through the intellect, and just it'd be a cerebral, intellectual, kind of mathematical approach to finding God, measuring it, right? We said the word for Sivan, right? The word Sivan is spelled Samach Yud Vav Nun, right? You take out the Yud Vav Nun and you have Yavan. Yavan, which is Greek, each of those letters, Yud, Vav, Nun, shows a descending graph, because Yavan was only into the Gashmiyut. The Samach of Sivan is Somech, it lifts you out of the depths of Yavan. Now what's interesting is that the letter Samach and the letter Tzaddik are interchangeable. Right? They make the same sound. Samach and Tzaddik. So you have Sion, right? You like that, right? So, what? You don't like that?
No, I don't like the same way.
They have on your tummy though. Samach and Sion.
Tzaddik.
It's the same thing. Anyway.
Double S versus an S.
They're both the same.
Just saying an aleph and ayin is different.
They're similar enough, meaning the same. Okay, anyway, that's the Chami point. Samach is like Shin. Samach and Shin. Susan. Anyway.
Both are the same.
Okay, fine. So you don't like it? Okay, got it. Tzaddik is connected to the letter Samach, okay, and it requires the same movements in your mouth to make that sound, and therefore the sound starts on the front of your mouth, and therefore you see the word Sion in the word in Sivan as well, okay. And therefore, if you are able to pull yourself out of the darkness of Yavan, you are able to get to a place called Zion. So Abraham understands that it's not enough to go ahead and have an intellectual understanding of Borei Olam. You have to get your body involved. The goof has to be involved in the process as well. So Abraham says that no, it's got to be the body itself. You have to purify the goof. It requires purification of the intellect and the body simultaneously. Ultimately, recognition of must flow from the mind and body together. We need to use a holistic approach. Behold, when the force of the body and the midot are in a flawed state, they interfere with accurate intellectual perception. Aristotle knew and taught that Abraham was far deeper. There is a sort of perception one can only achieve through the sanctification of the body. This is a type of pure, clear perception that flows from a unification of the mind and the senses. Our sages teach us, Breshit Rabbi, from my flesh I see God. Mi bisri echazeh Hashem. Right? From my flesh I will see God. Had I not performed the Brit Milah, from where would Hashem have appeared to me? It's a weird thing. What do you mean? You see God from my flesh. And Abraham is saying, if I didn't do my Brit Milah, then would Hashem appear to me? If he didn't circumcise himself, God would not have appeared to him. That's what he's saying over here. Our sages choose their words precisely. They did not say, how would God have appeared to me? Implying that the body would have interfered with the prophecy. With prophecy, were it not for the Kiddusha, the Brit Milah. Meaning, if there was no Brit Milah, if there was no circumcision, there would be no Nevuah. And that when Abraham was able to elevate his body, that's when he received his Nevuah. Yeah, there was lower Nevuah and higher Nevuah. Okay? So, how would Hashem have appeared to me? Implying the body would have interfered with the prophecy were it not for the Kedusha of the Brit Milah. Rather, our sages wrote, from where would Hashem have appeared to me? That is, the revelation must flow forth specifically from the holiness of the body, the Kedusha of the Guf. The body must participate in the revelation. This is wondrous because we often think of the body as being something that is purely physical, that has no spirituality in it at all. It has its own wants and needs. But what we're saying over here is that's not true. The secret that Abraham taught his children and the nation of Am Yisrael is that you could elevate the body and bring it along on the spiritual journey. From my flesh I see God. Mi bisri echazeh Hashem. This is the path of Abraham. The body and the senses do not just interfere with perception when they are impure. Rather, they are the very instruments I use to perceive. The body and the senses can achieve perception so vivid that through them one merits the revelation of the Shekhinah itself. Aristotle had no knowledge of the path of perception. He shaped a scientific approach, a path of theoretical thought. Scientific method cannot found a people, and will never infuse actions with holiness. As we know, Aristotle failed to live up to the same ethical guidelines he espoused. There's a famous old midrash that tells a story of how Aristotle's students wanted to ask him a question after one of his lectures, and they found him naked on all four, barking at two other naked girls in his room, like he was playing some kind of fantasy game with them. And they asked him, Aristotle, like, how could you do this? What are you doing? You're our teacher. So he says the Aristotle that stands behind the podium is not the same Aristotle that's in his home. Like, it's okay to have a duality. We don't believe in that duality. What I project externally outside, in the outside world, is exactly what I should be doing in the inside of my house as well. So he did not live up to his own moral philosophies. As it happens, the Torah concept of wisdom is totally different than the Gentile concept of wisdom. Rava consistently repeated. The whole purpose of wisdom is teshuvah and good deeds. Teshuvah and ma'asim tovim, good deeds. Rashi comments, the essence of Torah is that it should be accompanied by teshuvah and good deeds. That is, without teshuvah and good deeds, the wisdom of Torah is not called wisdom at all. So interesting, Rashi is saying that if you don't have ma'asim tovim, good actions, and this idea of repenting, you don't have anything. By unifying the intellect and the body, can someone achieve wisdom? You don't have chokhmah without infusing the body and the mind together, infusing the body and holiness together. This is the essence of Torah. It must always be accompanied by action. And this week's Parsha, we call it Bechukotai Telechu. And there's all kinds of different, it's Parsha Bahar Bechukotai, all right? So you have in Bechukotai Telechu, right? Everyone asks, what's the Telechu about? And everyone says Telechu is about Talmid Torah. What's that? So one says that Telechu comes from the word lech, and lech is always an expression of Limud HaTorah. And some say that telechu comes from the word halicha or halacha is in there as well. But the one constant is, well, what's the correlation between limud? Rashi says it's to be toil, right? To toil. Telechu is about being putting in your amelut b'Torah, right? So what's the correlation between walking and amelut? So I saw this nice idea of Rav Druk. He says that walking is the process of taking a step, one step forward, and each step is getting you closer and closer to your goal. A mitzvah does not work like that. A mitzvah is a one and done thing. I take the lulav, make the bracha, I'm done. Right? I wrap the tefillin and I finish the mitzvah. Okay? But whereas the mitzvah of limud haTorah is like walking. It's every single moment, every single step getting you closer and closer to that goal.
Before the mitzvah, you have the work, the mitzvah. If you don't do avera, you should be mitzvah.
Right?
Like you don't do something evil to somebody, to do mitzvah.
It's true. Yes, it's true. It's true. We're talking specifically over here about the mitzvah of limud Torah.
No, you're talking lashon hara to work to someone. It's not work like that.
100%. It does not work like that. But the inyan of the idea of learning Torah is a constant, specific action that is always. Uvelechlecha baderech. We're supposed to be learning it wherever we go. It's a process, right? So now, why are we having this conversation? We're having this conversation because we're talking about gratitude again. And if gratitude is not something that is infused within your body, if you don't work on this sense of feeling, this connection of just feeling a sense of, wow, I am so lucky. I look at my body, I look at my body, I see all the good things that I have. That my cells are working, my eyes work, my skin is able to protect me, my blood is functioning, my kidneys, my legs are able to move. I have all these freedoms. With that, I recognize the glory of God, and I am humbled, and I walk away with a little bit more of a hakarat hatov. Bezrat Hashem, we'll pick up and continue tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.